So cyberbullying can take place in the form of text messages that are harassing. It can take place in the public forum of Facebook or Twitter. When someone decides to take a shot at a teenager, it's amazing how very quickly others will start piling on.
Kids are growing up in a culture where they, friends are the number one thing. And so you want to be known as a person who has a lot of friends.
In most people's opinion, the key to surviving high school is to have friends. As long as you have friends, then you'll be fine.
Even though you should be focusing on your homework and everything at school, you're also focused on the social side and how many friends you have.
Oh, I remember in grade 9, there was a competition on how many friends we could get, even if it was people that we didn't know. There was this one guy who had about 900 friends, but half of them he had no idea who they were. It's just he had friended them and then they had accepted. It can get a little creepy at times because the people that you don't know what they're going to do on your Facebook wall.
I know people who get really upset over comments that are posted on them, and they take really bad measures like cutting themselves, which is a step towards taking their own lives. Cutting is when people inflict self-harm, so they hurt themselves, so they start bleeding, and I think it's terrible. But people do it, I think, to feel control over their lives.
1 in 5 girls and 1 in 7 guys has been involved in some form of self-injurious behavior for the purpose of managing or controlling their emotions somehow. That is off the chart.
When you cut yourself or burn yourself, that's all you're thinking about. Just like when you break your leg, you're not thinking about a test you have tomorrow, you're thinking about the broken bone in your body. I found that cutting became really addictive, and it wasn't it was almost like I'd be at school and I was like, anything could happen or anything couldn't happen. I'd go home and I would almost look forward to it as if it was like having a friend come over or something.
It provides the relief or the release from pressure, the sense of calm, but only for the moment. And then it plunges a person into even deeper despair. Suicide, on the other hand, is actually a response to the belief that I have run out of all options.
The places that most of the bullying happened was on Facebook, wall-to-wall, inbox, statuses. Through text or BBM, I would get messages. I got beat up. I don't know, I think it just kept going one on top of the other because I would try and stand up to this girl and she would just get worse, and she would say worse things and she would get more people involved in it. And of course, the more people that are involved, the harder it is to get away from it, especially when it's on the internet. I was like, you know what, this is a good time, nobody's paying attention, so you know what, I'm just gonna go take a bunch of pills. Going through my mind, if I was like, well, if I don't kill myself, maybe I'll throw up and I'll lose weight and I'll look better.
Lauren's brother found her alone in her room. And soon she was in an ambulance on the way to the hospital.
There were things that were happening, and you could see it's like a depressive thing that gets so difficult that, sometimes kids, the only thought that they have is, I just gotta end this. And thank goodness she wasn't successful.
One of the police officers who had come with the ambulance, he was so blunt about how selfish I was, kind of just snapped me out of what I was thinking, and I realized that I can't be selfish like that, I can't do that.
We see the epidemic of teen suicides. As long as they feel like there's no one out there for them, then they suffer in silence. And they need to know that somebody cares, somebody listens, and somebody will give them a voice.